Hi there, my name is Beck, and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And Happy New Year to one and all. I hope 2021 is going to be a slightly easier year than 2020. I hope it's going to be a more prosperous and wonderful year. Who knows what their dream? Listen, if we get to February and everything's normal, I think we're for a quiet year. We're not getting to February and everything's going to be normal, but yeah, listen. I've been wrong about a lot of stuff before, but Happy New Year, one and all. I started the year by watching Star Trek Discovery. Ugh, not a good one, not a good way. But I'm a big believer. There's a piece of Jewish wisdom that says, "Kol achrei hachitim." Everything goes after the finish. The big finish. So yeah, was it? I tried to watch it last night, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't. It's so awful. It's so awful. I ended up watching this thing on Netflix by the people who made Black Mirror. This comedy thing about 2020, narrated by Samuel Jackson. It was pretty funny. I got most of the way through it. There's a lot of like Trump derangement syndrome in there, but as it's all a comedy, I'm okay with it. So I recommend you check that out. It made me laugh. And you know what? I like a bit of a laugh. That's something I do enjoy. I am a bit partial to a bit of a laugh. So therefore, Star Trek Discovery is not for me. I just watch it, take it on my notes, I watch it, so you don't have to. Before we get into it though, can you hit the like button, can you hit the share button, hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button today. That will be fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm very appreciative. And also check out my Indiegogo in the video notes. Go and add your email address to the sign up. That'll be fantastic. Okay, what wasn't fantastic? Star Trek Discovery, never fantastic, is it? So we start off, we have the recap, and the recap is always a bad idea because you go, oh my god, this is awful. This is just awful. So we see the evil redneck white male from the second episode? I think the second episode. So yeah, we know he's going to be back, and then we get a little bit more about the nonsensical dilithium nonsense that doesn't make any sense. They're running out dilithium, even though if you use it, it blows up. None of it makes sense. And then we talk about the planet of dilithium discovered by the wide-eyed Michael Burnham, who's always amazed that she's the bestest ever because she's so humble, because she's part of being the bestest ever. And we revisit Tilly's first command. That goes exactly as you would expect it to go. And the turgid trans girl going down to the planet with Dr. Gay and Saru. Okay, so Osiris now on board Discovery, and she's using it as a subterfuge to get into the Federation bubble thing. They have her ship that's firing on them as they're going towards there and they're pretending Discovery's under attack to get in. And everybody on the crew is in the brig, or really they're not there at all, so you don't have to pay for any extras, but they're in the brig. Apart from the bridge crew, which they all keep together because they're morons, written by morons. Why are they together? Why are they even still alive? It makes sense they're alive because it turns out they want to be used to be negotiated with. But really, I think have you ever seen Reservoir Dogs? When they talk about what to do with hostages, if somebody won't cooperate, you take your gun, you smash it down her nose, makes lots of blood, breaks her nose, and everybody freaks out. They just do what they're told, and if they still don't do what they're told, you cut off a finger, right? And I'm like, that's how criminals act, right? This is if the Emerald Chain is a criminal group, that's how they would act. And if they did act that way, they wouldn't have any trouble from this this incredibly weak bridge crew. And so then they bring back the evil white male. Oh, sorry, I didn't need to say he's evil. Jesse's a white male because it's redundant, isn't it? They bring back the evil white male, the redneck guy, and he's bringing the Andorian boy into to hang out with the rest of the bridge crew so they can break out together. The Andorian guy is played by Tilly's husband in real life. He looks about 12 without the makeup on. Meanwhile, Book and Burnham are being stunning and brave in their crappy little ship that keeps changing configuration. I just hate all that. I just hate it all. I don't like anything about this. Admiral Moron decides to let Discovery in just as Burnham turns up to warn them, but she gets there just too late. So instead, she flies Book's crappy little ship right into the the shuttle bay, right? Travels on right into the shuttle bay, just as Discovery enters the Federation bubble, and boom, we're in the titles. And it's God, I hate everything about this show. I just hate it. So we got the titles, and so then Asira introduce an evil white male. I'm sorry, I didn't need to say that's redundant saying evil white male, because they are an evil white male scientist that's just so impressed with Discovery's technology, even though it's 930 years old, because they're the bestest ever. Burnham heads off to find Stamets as Book stays behind to get captured, so nobody knows that Burnham's on the ship. So you can pretend that Burnham isn't there, and I go to myself, gee, could I just pretend that Burnham isn't there? Everything would be better if Burnham isn't there. Then the cringe goes into overdrive at that point, where Book says, we had this in the preview for next week, go and save the day, Michael, because you're the best as ever, go save the day. And Michael Burnham's like, is this the wrong time to tell you the first time that I love you? Blah, God, I hate Femtrek. I just don't like Femtrek at all. Finally, Admiral Arsehole works things out as Book is brought to hang out with the rest of the bridge crew. Here, all you dangerous prisoners, let's put you together, and we'll just say, nobody talk to each other. No, and that'll do the trick. I mean, it's so obvious. Everything about this nonsense is so insanely obvious. Because they're gonna break out and they're gonna take the ship and get back together because they're stronger together. Stronger together. So now Burnham is in her best Die Hard mode, which actually gets worse as the episode goes on, and she, as the script needs to become the bestest ever commando, she takes out a guy 3 times her size, even though she's got a knife in her, and I go, this is just garbage. This is utter garbage. And it turns out, the Burnham fight is injured, but it doesn't matter because she's so stunning and brave, and she's the bestest ever. I wish I was making this up to rank on it, but no, this is actually what happens. The difference between Burnham and Picard did a great Die Hard episode. The Starship Mine, and Kirk. The difference is, other than Kirk and Picard actually have personalities, right? Actually are, not 3-dimensional people that you kind of like, they're not the bestest ever at everything, right? And so when Burnham does something, she's going to succeed at it because she's the bestest ever, and it's just so boringly predictable. So Asira drops the subterfuge and gets in touch with Admiral Arsehole. And it turns out she's a pretty good and shrewd negotiator. Through this episode, she actually comes out the best out of anybody out this episode and sends most of the Disco crew back on shuttles, keeping the bridge crew together so they can plan their escape and take over the ship, obviously. Also to use them as leverage. But again, why not put them in individual cells that have one guard on them each, right? That would seem to be the absolute minimum you should do. So Asira's crews always have all their faces covered, so I'm assuming by next week, one of them's going to whip off their mask and it's going to turn out to be a good guy. I mean, it just seems... Anything that seems reasonably obvious normally is. And so, of course, our heroes that have been kept in the... what standing set? The ready room or the mess hall. They outwit their captors and they break out because they're so stunning and brave and they're wonderful. Surprisingly, so Asira goes over to negotiate with Admiral Arsehole, and she turns out to be a bit of a hero. She makes a very good pitch. What she's saying, I don't know. It sounds good to me. And she's not lying either. They have this a lie detector in the form of a hologram who keeps saying, "Yep, she's telling the truth." And she wants an alliance between the Emerald Chain and the Federation to be able to replicate the Spore Drive and bring commerce and freedom back to the galaxy. Right? I say this all sounds like it's a good thing. I mean, she has this science institute, and they have the Spore Drive. It seems that they could actually do quite well. So Stamets has a chat with has his neuro blocker removed, and he has a chat with the chain scientist, and it looks like they got a pretty good chance of replicating. the spore drive, the chain scientist, he might be an evil white male, but he's still a scientist, and he explains, we can do this, and Tamlin's like, oh, that's probably going to work. So it looks like they can replicate the spore drive and bring peace to the universe, right? This is a good thing. The Die Hard thing goes into overdrive with Birdem as she fights off another of the Emerald Chain people, as booted out of an airlock, and loses her boots. She loses her boots, and now, listen, I mean, how is a very clear inference. I guess they knew it was going to be aired around Christmas. They thought, this is going to be a little bit Christmassy time, maybe. I'm giving them too much credit because that sounds like something intelligent. I don't think anybody on this production is intelligent. I really don't. It's in a display of pure Discovery bullcrap. Birdem, who the bad guys don't even know is alive or not. So now she has a complete edit. She might have been sucked out the airlock as well. And the British crew are like, oh no, not Michael Birdem. Could she be gone? Oh. So Michael Birdem has to get on the communicator and say, I'm still alive. You're going to need more than that. And the British crew are like, yay, Michael's the bestest ever. Yay, Michael, bestest ever. And the bad guy's like, drat you, I'll get you, you meddling kids. Again, why not just keep the element on surprise? Maybe that would have been a good idea, but no. But it doesn't really matter because, reasons. Back in the negotiation, Admiral Arshow explains, and actually using this language, right? Actually, and I didn't believe he used this language at first. They're talking about apples. The Osiris eating an apple and said, these replicated ones aren't so great. You should try a real one. And the Admiral's like, they're shit, What? They're made out of shit. How shit? They power the replicators from their excrement. But why? Why? Like, I don't know. Why do they think using coarse language doesn't diminish the character, doesn't lower the character? It's because the morons writing the show don't understand that profanity. And speaking of somebody who uses profanity, I understand it does diminish you. I understand that. Not the people writing it, because they're morons. They just don't understand anything about Star Trek. When somebody gets sucked out the airlock and you see their body floating in space, for some reason their leg has been chipped off and it's floating. Like, why? Why? Who do you think you're appealing to with this nonsense? I couldn't quite believe that he said it's made out of shit. Why? So then we get down to what's really going on, right? Because Osiris is making this great offer. And it's socialism. It's getting down to socialism. It's plain and simple. That universally failed system of government. Now, don't get me wrong. Pure capitalism inherently problems too. It has inherent problems too. But the Discovery world is any capitalism is bad, because that's what Osiris wants, and that's the thing that the Federation can't live with. That they have commerce, they have capitalism, and the reason that people are making it Discovery, don't like capitalism. It's not they don't like the bad of capitalism. They don't like the good of capitalism. The good of capitalism is that somebody is, generally speaking, rewarded for their work. Somebody puts more work in, you get more reward. That's that, and it's not a universal truth, but that is the basic core of the good of capitalism, and that's what they hate. They don't hate the inequalities, of course. They hate that you have. That it's a meritocracy. They hate meritocracies, and that's the driving force that has of like, if you work hard, you can raise yourself out of poverty. Is a driving force that has seen more of our species become affluent in the history of our planet. I mean, but the idiots writing this just hate meritocracies because they just want stuff for nothing. And that's right. When you peel it down. When you peel it down and you get into this cultural divide, that's really what they want. They just want stuff without working, and they don't want to feel bad that somebody worked harder and they have more than them. And if they have more than them, they're going to feel bad, right? And that's the bottom line. And the reason, for that is because they're lazy for nothing. They're lazy for nothing. Nothing with no internal morality whatsoever, which is why they hate capitalism. This is why they hate the Western world, and why they hate America. And Starfleet and Star Trek was always an analogy for America. That's really why the fundamental schism and why this Star Trek, so all the Kurtzman Star Trek so universally fails. It hates American values, and that American values specifically is a free market economy. They can't stand that. They can't stand the meritocracy of that, and it's very clear in this episode, right? It's very, very, very clear. And Asira just keeps being incredibly reasonable, right? She's holding all the cards, and she's being incredibly reasonable. She could have just taken Discovery and done it herself, but no, she actually wants to bring peace to the galaxy. First Admiral Arsehole was like, well, you have slavery. He says, listen, I have brought a reforms to outlaw slavery. And eventually she agrees to everything the Federation wants, right? Everything. And it's going to be a golden age, an absolute golden age of peace and prosperity. And, I guess this is what people who are on that side of the cultural aisle, that's how they process the last number of years. Because, listen, whatever you want to say about the current government in the United States, it's been a very, very, very successful one in terms of the economy's done very well. I mean, up until COVID, everything they said bad was going to happen didn't, and everything. We had a lot of good happening. We had incredible peace deals made, and I guess if you just look at the metrics, you have to explain it somehow. And so that's basically where they are. That's basically where they are. They just hate. They just hate capitalism, and they hate America. They just hate it. The people make it just hate America. For sure, Admiral Arsehole was busy talking about apples made out of shit. So anyway, the British crew is about to bring the fight to the Emerald train back on Discovery, derailing any hope of intergalactic peace and prosperity. I mean, it's real, and a return of normative interstellar travel, right? This is a real break. Getting rid of the idea they're going to get rid of slavery in the Emerald worlds. They're going to stop interference in pre-war civilization. They're going to do everything. No, yay, Tilly! She's going to go save the ship. Go for it, Tilly. Burnham breaks out Stamets after. They have a bit of Stamets has a conversation with the evil white male scientist, who makes lots of very good points about Asira. Right? He says, listen, I would have been dead if not for her. She's actually been, very philanthropic. I've benefited, and many people have benefited directly for her. To which Stamets very intelligent replies, but she's a mini pants. She's a horrible, horrible mini pants. And he's not allowed to answer. Which is another thing that the people making Discovery also hate, and another American value other than free market economy. Something else they also hate is freedom of speech, because their arguments are all nonsense that do not stand up to any scrutiny whatsoever, so they can't have anybody answer back. So that's another great thing. So she saves Stamets. And Stamets wants to jump back to the Nebula to save Dr. Gay and Adira, who he now, I think they were saying, he views himself as her father for knowing her 20 minutes? Really? Yeah, no. It's like Adira thinks that she's had a incredible, decades-long romance, like it's 50-year-old romance with a 12-year-old boyfriend. I'm like, okay. But Michael stops him jumping there for a reason I didn't really understand, okay? So Admiral Arsehole ends up turning down Asira's incredible offer. Her incredible, galaxy-changing, peace and prosperity, bringing deal with Asira. Why? Because she's been a meanie pants, and she needs to stand trial for her crimes, right? Okay, whatever. So we're all gonna suffer now because of it. Why does the Federation, why does Admiral Arsehole think he's on the high ground? Like, why? They just assume they have the moral high ground, and you're not allowed to question it. Again, questions are not good for Discovery, the people making it. Asira returns to Discovery. The scientist guy starts to see Stamets is right, and even though she's the herald of intergalactic peace, she's still a meanie pants. She kills the Andorian guy. To make a point, essentially. The point is, I don't need you, go away. So next week, obviously, he's going to turn and be one of the good guys and help the and go against the meanie pants of Syra and stop her bringing peace and prosperity throughout the bloody galaxy once again. Burnham, oh god, yeah, Burnham is in this, right? Put Stamets in this, like, remember in Galaxy Quest when they send what's his name? Steve Allen, whatever his name is. They send him back from the ship back to Earth, and he put him in this like gloop, and they fire him through a nebula. They do kind of something similar with Stamets. They put him in this like gloopy ball thing, and then blows up a bit of Discovery to have him sucked out and sent away. So Asara can't use him to destroy what's left of the Federation. Somehow, seems like she wants to save the galaxy to me. Like, it seems like she actually wants to save the galaxy for me. Because Asara needs to go back and save Adira and Dr. Gay. And then it wouldn't be an episode of Discovery. It wouldn't be an episode of Discovery without Burnham having a good cry in space. She has a good cry in space, but then she's caught by the evil redneck white guy, and as the stunning and brave bridge crew break into the armory to so they can go and take out, they can fight their way to the bridge and take out the Emerald Chain. And then there's a bit of fake tension as they hear something coming to them. They all get their phasers ready, whoa! And then it's these shitty little robots. I hate those robots. I hate them with every fiber of my being. They're now infused with the sphere data, another crappy idea. They're infused with the sphere data, and they're going to help join the fight. So they're essentially the Ewoks that are going to take out the Empire. And thank God, it's over, and there's only one more shitty episode of this shitty show to go. So mercifully, now we're getting to the end of the season. We can see that Discovery Season 3, probably better than Season 2. Not really saying much. That doesn't really say much that it's better than Season. It's kind of saying that dying from hypothermia is probably better than being eaten to death by monsters. Like by zombies. Yeah, you can be eaten to death by zombies or you can freeze to death. One's better than the other. Neither are preferable. So there you go. Star Trek Discovery, nearly over. It's awful. One more episode to go. Thank God. My name is Sheila Beck, and you Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.